Okay, hello, how you doing? All right, so I am back with my at work video. So okay, so I have decided to go with one of my covers of the rainbow picks, and it is Luckiest Girl Alive, and this is by Jessica Knoll. And it's a mystery thriller. I'm almost certain of it, and I cannot wait to read this. So, oh, also it is now. It is now, well, 1:04. You can see that. There we go. So it's 1:04 in the morning. I was actually trying to wait till 1 o'clock, but, or try to do it at 1 o'clock on the dot, but whatever, that's fine. 4 minutes is 4 minutes. It's not gonna make or break me, but so I'm hoping to get through this. That is what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be reading this book, and yeah, so sit back, relax, and I'll stop. Let's see, this book is 338 pages. Oh, I sprayed the edges. If you wonder, it did come like that. I sprayed them. I think I did a good job on this. I actually love it. It makes it so cute. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's another story altogether. But so I think I'll get through like the first 5 chapters. I'll try to get through the first 5 chapters, and then I'll come back and, or at least I'll stop and then talk about what is going on so far and how I like the book and my thoughts on it. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, hello. All right, so I just finished reading chapter 5 of Luckiest Girl Alive. So OMG. All right, so we're following a girl named Tiffany Fontanelli or something like that. She's part Italian, part Irish. Dad's Italian, mom's Irish. And so she basically, I guess she's like middle, upper class. I guess that's how she would be considered, middle, upper class. And so she works as a writer for a magazine called Women's Magazine, I believe, or something to that effect. So yeah, so if it flashes back between her high school life and her adult life. So she's currently now getting, she's planning her wedding, and she's also flashing back to her high school days. So they're referencing something that happened to her while she was at her posh high school. And from, well, once you get to like chapter 4, you understand what it is. It's like, so she was basically, she wanted to fit in. So she wanted to, she was kicked out of her one school because she was labeled the bad influence, but she really wasn't actually the bad influence. But so she's now at this other school. So she is at a more upstanding, I guess you could say, high school. And so she didn't know anyone, so she was trying to fit in. So she was basically trying to reinvent herself when she went to this school. And so she wanted to be like the popular girls, but she wasn't yet socially accepted. So she was doing things that would get her noticed. The problem is, so she has the money, I guess, to basically try to live this lifestyle. So her lifestyle was basically a lie. And she dares anyone to basically contrast her way of life. And it's like, I don't know. So, I mean, it's kind of slow. Like it's okay, but it's kind of slow. So I'm just hoping it like picks up and gets better. But for the most part right now, it's not that great. Oh yeah, so also side note, it is now 3 o'clock in the morning. I am so tired too, and I can't wait to when I get off so I can go take a sleep. Go to sleep. Although I took a nap before I came to work. I'm tired. I just feel so tired. It's also, I can't do like a 24-hour readathon because I would be so tired. But anyway, so yeah, hopefully it gets better. But I like the character so far. She so when she was in high school, she was so oblivious because they had so the guy had invited her over because he said like, oh, they're gonna have a party. But my thing is this: when you notice that you're the only girl in attendance, why wouldn't you leave this party? Why would you just stay? And the party is just guys. So it doesn't, like, to me that seems like super crazy that you would literally stay there instead of going home or, you know, saying like, hey, where is everyone else? Why would you stay? And you're the only girl. Don't you think that something is wrong? Like, I would think that something is wrong with that situation. So somehow I guess she blew the whistle on this, or something had happened, or something is going to happen, or whatever that happened in her past. Because every time she mentions her name, because she used her name Tiffany. So everyone knows, like, so everyone just, when she introduced herself, they go, are you Tiffany like is like, are you that Tiffany, you know, for whatever the situation was, because they're not saying currently at the present time, they're not saying exactly what was going to happen or what happened. So you just assume that it's probably going to be something related to the event that happened in her life at this party that she was the only girl in attendance for. But yeah, so then what was I going to say? So now she goes by Ani, and she's engaged to this guy. He's kind of an asshole, but he's from old money, so which is really honestly one of the reasons why she is actually marrying him, because he has money and he comes from money. And so then he's kind of an asshole, honestly. I don't really like him, but I'm assuming that's the point. And then so she's doing a documentary. So they're doing a documentary on, I guess, her school, and the crew wanted her to be a part of it. And so she agreed to be a part of it to, I guess, I don't know what's actually going to entitle, so we don't get that part yet. We just know that she's doing a documentary from her old school. So yeah, it's just yeah. I remember I had to give it a rating right now, it would be a 2, because it's so boring. Like, it's not boring, but it's not as like gut punching, you know. I'm not like oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next, like what's going on. It's like a really slow build up, so hopefully it picks up. But yeah, I'm almost at 100, page 100, so I'm at 94, page 94, chapter 6. Ooh, excuse me. I got about 4 more hours until my shift is over. I can't wait. I'm freaking ecstatic about that. Okay. Alright, so now I'm about to go back to reading. And I guess, let's see. I did 5 chapters. I guess when I get to chapter 10, if I make it to chapter 10, we'll see. How this goes. Alright. So I finished The Luckiest Girl Alive, and that book was something. So I was very surprised when I honestly finished it in a day, surprisingly enough, because usually it takes me a minute, so, especially as tired as I was. Yesterday, because now Sunday, it's 12:18. So yes, okay, so Luckiest Girl Alive is about this girl. Her name is Tiffany, and she changes her name to Ani. She changes changes it to Ani. And so her whole persona is basically, it's fake. And so the thrill or turning twist that I thought was going to, the plot twist that I thought was going to happen didn't actually happen. It was the plot twist was pretty lame, and it's not like it was a surprise. You can pretty much see it coming if you paid attention to anything. But it wasn't like, it was a good read. It was interesting. Well, it was okay. So the character, I wish they would have had more for her character development, I think, because so she was just like basic as hell. So she was just like pretty much plastic, and it was just, it switches between her present day and her past. So basically the whole story is really about her past, and then how it plays a part in her present. And it was just a lot. It was just like, really, I'm trying to get my thoughts together on it, because like it took me a minute. Like I had to meditate on this and like really think about what this story is about. So I know what it's supposed to be about, this girl or this woman who basically had some shitty things happen to her in her past, and so it made her who she is today. But she was always pretty much fake, and she wanted to be the star person, or she wanted the approval of others, and she wanted that all her life. And so that also played a role in her adult life as well. So it's like, but then she came to a point in her adult life where she's like, pretty much, I don't give a fuck, because I'm marrying rich. So she had to basically, she was checking off all her boxes. Basically it was have a good education, work at a predominant have a predominant career, and have the perfect fiance. So she was just checking off her boxes. It really didn't make a difference as to like how it came about. So yeah, so she checked off her 3 boxes, and then the funny thing is, because her best friend is that she met in college, I believe, is the one who helped her basically become this whole persona of who she was today. And she's like, this is what you wanted. I thought this is what you wanted. This is, you know, the life you wanted, and I showed you how to accomplish that. And so it was like, okay. So she was always like conscious of what she was wearing, and basically what she was wearing, what she was eating, and how she fit into the society around her. And so basically she came up as a basically middle class rich, I would say, or bottom, I would say either middle class rich or bottom tier rich, basically. And she just tried to go above what she wanted to be, a part of the in crowd, and she was trying to do that by any means necessary. So, but that was pretty much the unfortunate part for her, especially when she was younger. She just wanted to please everyone. She wanted to be accepted. She wanted to be part of the hierarchy, which was at her school. So some things happen, and she just basically lives with it, and she takes the crap that is dealt with her. And so then it also bled into her adult life, because she still put up with the same crap, but then realized that maybe this isn't what I actually should want. And then she tried to get, I guess she wanted to get revenge on her own self in a way. And it was like she, like, I'm trying to think, like, so she basically was she had like anxieties because of what happened to her in her past, what happened to her when she was younger. Well, in her teenage years, basically. So she had anxieties, and her fiance was pretty much an asshole about it. He made it seem like they weren't anything, like she was just basically attention seeking, and she really had this trauma. Like, and the funny thing is that, like, the way it was written, it was like really nicely done, because you made basically the fiance the asshole and a villain, because he didn't understand her backstory. Although she told him everything from her past, he still was like, okay, that's fine, but I never want to hear about it again. Like, he didn't give two shits about her past, and basically he laughed about it to his friends when she wasn't around, and when she found out, she was kind of pissed. I mean, I would be pissed about it too, because it's like you didn't take her seriously. Like, you only loved one part of her. Like, she was supposed to be the trophy wife, I guess, and she was fine with that up until a point, but she knew that wasn't really what she wanted out of life, and she was really trying to please her mother more than she was trying to please herself, but then realized that her self-worth in the end, which I do appreciate. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think what else. And then like, I want to talk about this. Okay, so I know it's probably very spoilery or whatever. So okay, so a situation happened when she was in high school, and one of the people that was a part of that situation, he grew up to be pretty successful, and so she was elected to do a documentary. She basically was over that. She was over him, and was kind of like, didn't want any, she didn't want any associations, but because he refused to admit what he did or what part he played in the situation that happened to her when she was when they were in high school, and he refused to acknowledge it. And so he contacted her. Well, he didn't contact her. He contacted the producer when she was doing the documentary based on about the school. So what happened? So she didn't at first want to, well, I think honestly, I think that she really did deep down want to have a conversation with him. However, she wanted to do it on TV, and he didn't. I don't know. Okay, so whatever. So I honestly think that it was pretty much a setup. I mean that you can tell it was pretty much a setup, or at least it worked in her favor. When he decided to get in contact with the producer because he wanted to talk to her. And so, but he only did it to benefit himself, and which was pretty much the same thing he did when they were in high school. He blamed her and made it seem like she was a part of what happened. She was a part of what happened. I know I'm being very vague, and it's because I don't want to give too much away from the story, because you need to read it yourself. But anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, so yeah, so she went and talked to him, and at first they were airing it, they were filming it, and he was like, she brought up the subject of what happened, and he was like, stop the cameras. That's not what I wanted to talk to you about, and if I'm going to say something, it's going to be off camera. And so she's like, fine. She was like, fine, then what the heck am I doing here? Like, why did you even want to have this conversation? Like, I was told you wanted to apologize for something, and yet you don't want to do that. Like, I don't understand. What's the point? Why are we here? What are we doing? So he's like, let me talk to you off camera. So they have the conversation. He's like, I will do all this on camera, but I want to talk to you first off camera. So they have a whole conversation, whatever, and she gets him to admit what he did. And so then he's like, so then they have, so he tells her like the whole point of him having this conversation with her basically is to benefit him, so he looks even better to the public than what he really is, because he's honestly an honest to gosh asshole. He's really an asshole. He's a true to life douchebag, and that's unfortunate of what his character is, but it is what it is. You gotta have some terrible people to make the story go, right? So anyway, so after that whole situation, she also had a conversation previously with one of her friend's mothers, and who was affected by what happened at the high school. And so she had, which is one thing I don't understand, is where she got this picture from, because I'm almost certain I thought she had threw the picture away, but apparently she did not. And if you read the book, you would understand what I'm talking about. And so then she found out that her douchebag of a fiance had used that picture, had given that picture to, I think it was his brother or a friend or something, because they wanted to do coke, or they wanted to do lines. And so he gave that picture to them to use. And she's like, of all the pictures we have, why would you give that picture to them? And his response was that he wanted her to get over the past. What? Like, my dude, like, first of all, that wasn't even your picture to give. So like, what? Like, true asshole fashion, like straight up douche. Like, I don't know, but she has something against some of these guys in this story, because she made them to be pretty asshole-ish. Like, they were pretty dickheads. Like, yeah, the main guys in this story were dickheads. So, which is just like, dang. Grudge much? But whatever. That was a joke. But so yeah, so then some things happen with her whole wedding situation. And so she decides to, because her fiance did not want her to do the documentary. He didn't even want her to talk about the past, because his thing is leave it in the past. However, some people need to deal with their past in order to have a productive future. And he was just kind of asshole-ish for not understanding it. And although she tried to explain it, I guess she just got tired of checking off those boxes. So she just said, you know what, F it, I'm good, and just did what she needed to do. I give this book, honestly, 3.5 stars, because I did like it. Some things it was just kind of confusing, and at some points it didn't make sense. Like, but yes, but I did. It was very enjoyable. It was a very easy, quick read. I finished it in a day, which again is amazing, because I was tired, but I was like 3 chapters away, because I vlogged about it, of course, and as I was reading it, and I was like, when I got home, I was like 3 chapters away from finishing, so I stayed up instead of going to sleep, which I'm regretting now, but whatever. I stayed up and finished those 3 chapters to get to the end, so I could talk about it, and then I went to sleep because I was so tired. Honestly, I'm surprised I was, but like this, that's how I know it was pretty good, because the fact that I stayed up the rest of to finish that book, to finish the last 3 chapters of that book, instead of going to sleep like I should have. You know, it was a good book. Like that, to me, that classifies it as being worth it. So it was definitely a worthwhile read. So if you have not read Luckiest Girl Alive, you understand the title once you read the book, because they even reference the title that she's the luckiest girl alive. And I say read it. Tell me what you think. Give me your thoughts, and maybe we can have a discussion about it. But yeah. And that is all for my review on Luckiest Girl Alive. Thank you for watching. Till next time. Peace.